Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. Welcome to this news and reaction segment. If you are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you will be notified when I upload a new video. And if you are not new, welcome back. So, of course, we have to dive into your girl, Erika Kirk, along with idiot JD Vance and what's going on with Nicki Minaj. There is a montage on USA Today, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And then we're going to probably discuss in between the craziness of what is Turning Point USA. And I know this is so sensitive for people who come into my comments thinking that it's going to appear or that I'm going to entertain and read stupidity. I'm not. I really don't care about your hate. So you're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it. So let's begin. So apparently Nicki Minaj made an appearance at this Turning Point USA, which is funny because Charlie Kirk was not a fan of Miss Minaj.
I mean, Nicki Minaj. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
Several months later.
Stupid how? You a stupid how? You a stupid how? You a stupid how? Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin JD Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
Did she just catch herself in some bullshit that she couldn't work her way out of? I mean, look, I am not a fan of Nicki Minaj. I know that she's collaborated with Madonna, and that's the only time that I have listened to her, but I couldn't tell you one song that she sings. I own nothing of hers. What is this assassin? Like, what did you mean by that? Were you trying to conjure up a song in your head? Was it going to come out like some kind of a rap song? She definitely caught herself out there because people are already in conspiracy land with what really happened with Charlie Kirk. Why was it that he was immediately dragged out? They didn't wait for an ambulance. They sealed his where he was murdered. I mean, like, doesn't anybody want answers as to what happened? And then you're calling JD Vance an assassin. I don't know. That's kind of suspicious to me. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Let's continue.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you. I love you. You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back.
I have to start.
Okay, before we go to JD Vance, when she says that she's been called every single name in the book and she just lets it roll over her shoulders, sure. I mean, I'm called every single name in the book, and I really don't give a fuck less because I know the names that the people in the comments call me, they don't know me. They're just angry because I'm talking about something that's hitting their nerve. And it's factual. So if it hurts, then deal with it. Have some accountability for that. But don't blame other people because you're a fucked up individual. You do that on your own. I'm sure that there are people who are very good at fucking up their own lives. They don't need help from anyone else. But when you think about that comment, we have to go back and think about her behavior, her grief, how she has been handling this. Nobody has ever seen this woman until her husband was murdered. Once her husband was murdered, all of a sudden, she has become the center stage of what Turning Point USA is. Now let's go over to JD Vance, who spoke so much shit on that stage as well.
Note of gratitude. Erika, I cannot thank you enough for your strength, your grace, and your kind words of support for this administration and for me personally. But let me just say, the best way to honor Charlie is that none of us here should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. He invited all of us here.
Really? The only reason why you're standing there, JD Vance, was because Charlie Kirk was murdered. And how convenient for all of you, I'm just, alleging.
Charlie invited all of us here for a reason, because he believed that each of us, all of us, had something worth saying, and he trusted all of you to make your own judgment. And we have far more important work to do than canceling each other. We have got to build, and President Donald Trump is a builder.
No, he's not.
And to honor Charlie, but also to honor all of you, we're working to end the scourge of left-wing violence in the United States of America.
Now, you see, that is a very fucking asshole comment to make. And I have something to say about that. First and foremost, everything that has occurred, all of these mass shootings have all been right-wing people. People who have been angry with Trump for whatever the reason is. Every last person. Let us not forget Melissa Hortman, who was murdered by a right-wing person. He had a list of people that he was going to kill. So please, JD Vance, stop the fucking bullshit with this left-wing violence. It's all bullshit. And it's all done to deter everything that is going on with the Epstein files, because we all know that DJT is the network. And I will keep saying that.
We're going after the far left crime networks, but we're also going after the monsters that fund them. We don't just want to go after the Antifa member who threw a brick at an ICE agent. We want to know who bought the brick, and we're going to prosecute them too.
Do you know how stupid this man sounds and how everybody is buying into this bullshit about Antifa being an organization when it's not? It's an idea. It's against fascism. They don't have a headquarters. There aren't any members. Is the idea of the United States defeating fascism.
Can you please clarify, like, organizations?
Any domestic terrorist organization that poses a threat to the homeland as we speak.
I'd say the first one, President Trump had just announced executive order domestic terrorist organization, Antifa. That's our primary concern right now.
All right, that's what President Trump did. What does the FBI say?
We share the same view. When you look at the data right now, you look at the domestic terrorist threat that we're facing, right now, what I see from my position is that's the most immediate violent threat that we're facing on the domestic side.
So where is Antifa headquartered?
What we're doing right now with the organization.
Where in the United States does Antifa exist? If it's a terrorist organization, and you've identified it as number one.
We are building out the infrastructure right now.
And then here we are, you have these stupid ass people that be like, oh, yeah, I'm for it because I don't want to think for myself. I need a king. That's how you all sound. Miss me with your bullshit.
More than any time I can recount, people are talking about American identity and figuring out what it is that unites us. But I want to say something here. The only thing that is truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation.
We are not a Christian nation. Let me just say that out loud. We are the United States of America. And what makes the United States of America is the melting pot of each individual and what each person represents.
Scripture tells us, by your fruits ye shall know them. And we might ask, what are the fruits of these people and their principles? And the answer is a man named Tyler Robinson who killed my friend. Think about it. He is everything that the far left want from our young men. He rejected the conservatism and the spirituality, the values of a small town family. He moved into a small apartment. He became addicted to porn. He became addicted to hate. And he ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman.
See, this is all bullshit. This is all crazy bullshit. Behaviors of watching porn or laying down with a transgender person, whatever this Tyler Robinson did, didn't lure him to kill Charlie Kirk. But this is the ideology, this is the propaganda they want to continue spewing because they know they are losing control of the sheep. They know it. It is Jim Jones 101. When Jim Jones felt he was losing control of his flock, he took them to another country. And we all know what happened at the end. Because once he started losing control there in Guyana, he gave them no choice. And he watched all of his followers be murdered. Do you think somebody like JD Vance cares about you? He doesn't care about you. He wants to sit there and talk about white pride. There is nothing wrong with being a prideful person. But when you live in a world where you believe your skin color supersedes everything else, that you are superior.
That is the nightmare scenario, but that is the scenario that the left has actively advertised they want for American families.
That's not
and the
true.
Young men in the audience in particular. That is exactly why we have to fight them. Because the fruits of true Christianity are men like Charlie Kirk.
Let me just say this, and I'm going to read my handy note card. JD Vance is actually a disgusting representation for white men because any decent white man who is married to a woman of color wouldn't shame himself, his wife, and his children. Everything that JD Vance spewed was a lie, an inaccurate information, and anyone who was sitting in that audience actually believing it needs to get their head checked. I feel sorry for any therapist who is now going to have to deprogram these people. I don't think that anyone understands the levels of insanity that these people are experiencing day after day after day. And quite honestly, I don't feel sorry for them at all. I don't. There are some people who have compassion and empathy. I do not. Because when you're being told something and the opposite is happening from what you believe, all of these people, oh, our jobs are getting stolen. By whom? By immigrants? People who are actually working and contributing their taxes to the economy? And now you're upset. You're upset over that. But yet you don't want that job. You want to sit there and buy into the fact that factories are being built. Where? Where are they being built? Have you filled out a job application for it? Tell me so that I can put up a link, because if there are people that are looking for jobs, I want to be able to supply that link. So when people come out, oh, factories are being built. No, they're not. There is a process. Anything that's being built is probably by Elon Musk, and he's going through not the proper channels to build things that are actually hurting people. Now, I want to get to the fun part of this video. Now, I have to crack up over here because this is something that everyone has been talking about on YouTube, on the internet, this whole Freudian slip. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video and you judge for yourself. What do you think she meant by it?
Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift. Grit. It has been a long day.
It sure has been a long day. I mean, can you imagine that you can't even find the right words while you are reading a script? Now, granted, yes, I have read some things and fucked it up and it's funny, but at the same time, you went from grit or gift to grift. And that dude is standing back there like, what the fuck do I say? Like, I'm not a grifter. Look, I'm going to end it with this. We live in a world today where there are many grifters. We see it covered by CoffeeZilla, by Penguin. I know he goes by another name. I think it's pronounced Penguin. These are like two big creators who have literally called out different people with their grift, from Bitcoin to all of these other coins that where people think they are going to be rich overnight. There are people who play the lottery forever in the hopes that one day those six numbers will come out and they will be rich overnight. They are spending the money in their head, but the money is not factual. It's not here. When we prey upon people to get them to part with their money in the hopes or giving them the hopes they will acquire a small fortune, maybe pay off their house, pay off a large debt they've been paying little by little. Whatever the situation is, when you prey upon a person or persons like Bernie Madoff did. Bernie Madoff was a credible person. People believed him because he was the chairman to NASDAQ. I've said this before. I did a whole video on the history of the grifters. I'll link it down below so you can go ahead and look at it. There are people in this world who do not care. They care about what is in your pocket, what assets you have, so that they can bank on that. Once you part with that money, they're not going to be thinking about you. They're not going to be thinking about your well-being. They're not going to be thinking about, oh, gee, you parted with that money, but it was really meant for a bill or it was meant to pay your rent. Grifters do not think about that. They think about lining their pockets as much as they can. And you know what? The reality is, and I'm not talking about Erika Kirk specifically, I'm talking about all of these different mega churches. Their grift is God. Their grift is to use a God to put the fear of God into you, to tell you, I need to buy a plane so that I can spread the word of God faster because God told me to. And there are people who believe this nonsense. We are not a Christian nation. We are individuals who represent God or higher power, however it is you choose to believe it. It is disrespectful to bother people about your God. It is disrespectful when you are knocking on the door to spread the word of a God that for me isn't real. If it's real for you, that's all well and good. It's real for my mom. It's real for my sister. It's not real for me. I practice something else. And that something else is none of your business. You want to know, you come and ask me, but it's not something that I'm going to display all over social media. It's not for me to do that. And this is where the levels of disrespect that people feel, they can just be intrusive and say, yeah, this is the way it is. And I don't care what you think. JD Vance talking about, well, white men have been hurt so bad. Really? Ask the white man who's married to a black woman. As a matter of fact, ask the white man who's been married to his black wife for what, 30, 40 years? Ask them what it was like when they had to date secretly because they were not allowed to be together according to the eyes of the law of the United States. Ask them, because this is the land that we live in, that you are not allowed to love a person because it went outside of the core values of conservatism. Conservatism, the meaning for me, I'm not going to give you a dictionary definition. Conservatism was the family who had children, husband, wife, dog, cat, whatever. The wife stayed home. She took care of her family. Things have changed. Why have they changed? Because women wanted to be a part of the workplace. There are women who build careers, they become doctors, they become attorneys, they become different professions that call to them. So to sit there and talk about conservatism, I don't think a lot of people understand that meaning. Now, if you're a woman and you want to be at home and take care of your family, that's on you. More power to you to do that. If your husband makes enough money that he can take care of his family, then do it. It's not for everybody, and it's not for every woman, and that's okay, and it should be okay. Why listen to JD Vance, who has no respect for his family whatsoever? None. He sits there and he chastises everyone else around him. And he thinks that he's going to be president of the United States. He's not. You see, everybody fucked up when they put in Donald Trump into the White House. And now all of you are finding out that you voted wrong and you made the biggest mistake in your life. And there are people who are feeling it more than others. But you know what? You reap what you sow. Take accountability and start looking out for yourself and for your fellow man. Because this isn't about immigrants. This isn't about people climbing walls with cows. None of that is happening. This is about being responsible for the country that you live in. Why other countries are not going through this? Because they are being responsible for themselves and for the next person. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being empathetic. What we are going through now, I can't even describe in words. It's probably not even YouTube friendly. So with all that being said, this is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, you can leave your comments down below. If they're disrespectful, they will get deleted and you will get blocked. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.